What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys another draft breakdown. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my headset here. This is for just a tournament. We are playing in the GDS Invitational 2 tournament. That is the GDS logo up there, the Global Draft Syndicate. I did specifically choose Comic Sans as the font for this. It's only for the title slide, so don't worry, but just sort of to show that we're having some fun with this. We are having a little bit of fun. This is a Tier 3 and below tournament, which obviously you guys will know. I did experience quite a bit of Tier 3 and below in our run in WAILORD, where we went 10-2 plus 30 and then made semifinals, proceeding to lose to the eventual champion, actually. I did say I was not going to do a season wrap-up for that, but Baconborn did end up winning the whole thing after beating us in the semis, so congrats to Bacon for that. This is a completely different subject, but there you go. So Tier 3 and below, this tournament actually allowed a couple things that I don't necessarily agree with, and they split it up so that you need to take 3 from each tier. So 3 from Tier 3, 3 from Tier 4, 3 from Tier 5, but they renamed them to Tiers 1, 2, and 3 for some reason, even though we already know them as Tier 3, Tier 4, Tier 5, which made a lot more sense to me considering it was Tier 3 and below, but there you go. Yeah, so that's all good and fun. So first up on the docket, I was 7th pick in my pool and out of 8, and I am amazed this dropped me. It shouldn't even be allowed in the format, but we ended up grabbing Curum. Absolutely busted, and I have no clue how this dropped to 7th, let alone was allowed in this. There are no answers to this. That's pretty much all there is to it. Like, you bring your bulky water out, well, I've got a Draco for you, a fat Draco. I'm just going to try and rip through this, by the way, because at this point, if you've seen my content, you've seen my draft breakdowns before, and you don't really need to know what all these mons do, because you probably know that yourself already. Yeah, Curum Monster Wall Breaker can be really obnoxious as a bulky mon too. That's the main reason I took it, and also because it's absolutely broken, and I didn't expect the 8th guy not to take it on the wheel, so I grabbed it. Next round, I took Whimsicott. I needed a fairy. I ended up grabbing a fast fairy. My biggest downfall in WAILORD was not having speed tiers higher than 95. It wasn't, no, sorry, I shouldn't say that it was my biggest downfall. My biggest downfall was being too easy to prep against because of that. And Whimsicott's basically a free 6-0, so a little prankster shenanigan little monster here. Love me some Whimsicott. I've used it a couple times on the ladder, but really haven't used it extensively in draft format, so I'm excited to try it out. Third round, I took my boy Glycepod. You guys probably won't know this because I've only used this in Wi-Fi leagues that I don't upload. But yeah, Glycepod's a monster, and I've used it extensively now over 2 seasons of LAT that I haven't uploaded. I did upload Season 1, but I never uploaded Season 2 or 3. Glycepod is just an absolute beast. Really, really strong Pokemon in my opinion, and I have high hopes for Glycepod in Tier 3 and below, considering there were even less switch-ins to it now. Less fairies to eat the first impressions, and nobody has a switch-in for it, so I'm excited for that. It gives me a Spikes user, it gives me a Water type, excited for all of those things. Yeah, I don't know, that's pretty much it. Fourth round, I decided to take Talonflame, grab a Fire type, grab a Flying type, grab some more removals, so I have a Defogger and Whimsicott, Defogger and Talonflame. My team is slightly weak to rocks, in fact, very weak to rocks at this point. I did end up making Talonflame my Z-user. I thought that it would be prudent to make Talonflame Z-user, and I got someone to help. I can't remember exactly who helped me out with that decision, but it did make the most sense on the team, just because I was debating between this and Whimsicott, I think, mainly. Curum definitely uses choice items and leftovers a lot better than it uses a Z-Crystal, and Whimsicott can end up using like leftovers or Scarf Switcheroo things better than a Z-Crystal, and yeah, Talonflame, it's not locked into Fly Z, I just put a Z-Crystal on there to make sure you guys knew this was my Z-user. Fun mon, never used it before, but I have good momentum going on now with the U-turns, and Burb spam in this format is also pretty good. Piloswine was up next, ended up grabbing Piloswine. I've used Piloswine before, it was on my UPBA championship team. Good rocker. It's not a rock resist necessarily, but it's a good stealth rocker. It's got really good stab, and Mamoswine is super hard to switch into, so I'm hoping Piloswine is just as hard to switch into. Can be a fire sponge. It's a good ice sponge. I don't know. Next round, we ended up with Crawdon. I have no clue how Crawdon was still around at this point. There's only one person who could snipe me on it, and so I decided to grab it on the back half of this wheel because he didn't have the wheel pick, so I was safe to pick Talonflame before, but now I needed to grab Crawdon just so that he couldn't snipe me on it. I have no idea how Crawdon is even allowed in this format, or how I got Kyurem plus Crawdon, because I have a monstrous wall-breaking team right now. Walls will not stand up against me whatsoever. Just super stoked to have Crawdon, honestly, and with the speed tiers in tier 3 and below, you can kind of get away with just getting up like one Dragon Dance and then just sweeping people. Or, you know, Choice Banded Aqua Jet hits even harder because there are a lot less dragons to resist that sort of move. And yeah, grass types are definitely a lot more prevalent though, so you gotta always watch out for the grass types. So Talonflame's there for, and what Masquerain is there for. I decided I wanted to go for webs, and I've been 6-0'd by a Masquerain before, so I'm tempted to sort of try a sweeper set as well, but Masquerain seems like it fits on the team really well. Excuse me, web support and intimidate support to help like Crawdon set up or Kyurem get a sub off or something. I think it's really important, and Masquerain's going to be clutch on the team. Alolan Dugtrio, I really needed a rock resist, so I took a 4x rock resist, and I needed another stealth rocker. Yeah, I have two 4x rock weaknesses, so I have no doubt that people are going to bring stealth rocks against me. I mean, Masquerain's more of a suicide lead generally, and Talonflame can switch in on most things that set up rocks as well. So, but yeah, Dugtrio, it's not super powerful. I mean, it's the Alolan form, so it's not super powerful really. The steel typing is kind of neat. Tangling Hair is a really cool ability. Slow him down. Let Chronic get a DD up or something like that. I could always set Sandstorm and use a Sand Force set. Very viable option there as well. And then last but not least, we took Primeape for boy Joe Lewis. You guys remember Primeape from D&D. I didn't really use it a whole lot that season, but I did love using it when I did use it. Defiant user means that hopefully it'll pressure people not to defog my webs and my spikes away with Glycepod, Masquerain. I don't know. It's hitting the same speed tier as Kyurem, which is but it's a really good Scarfer. Excuse me, really good Scarfer, great momentum, and that is it for the team. So, super short and sweet video here, guys. Just breaking down the team. I will be uploading each battle as well, and hopefully we have a good time in the GDS tournament here. I'm expecting I'll have a good time. I mean, tier 3 and below is pretty fun, so we'll just sort of go at her, and hopefully that we can win some games, maybe make a little bit of a name for ourselves after our GBA FTL Season 2 finish. Maybe I'll be able to make like top 32 again or something like that. We'll see. It is only 64, so top 32 is not as impressive, so maybe we'll aim for top 16 if I can. That's going to be it for me, guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.